little girl took just one bite of the cake her father gave her. The next second she fainted. Soon she was rushed to the hospital for surgery. They not only replaced her heart but also removed her oxygen tube. Only then did she realize her adoptive parents raised her just to give their real daughter a new heart. Looking at the father who raised her all these years, she desperately hoped he would save her, but instead he pushed her back down. That was when she knew all the love she had received was fake. If that was the case, her life might as well be returned to him. If she could live again, she would never be his daughter. And so the girl died with a broken heart. Yet the next second she woke up 4 years earlier. As soon as she opened her eyes, her brother shoved her to the ground. He scolded her for being so vicious at such a young age. He said she pushed her sister just for a piece of chocolate. Her scheming sister quickly apologized, saying it wasn't her sister's fault but that she fell on her own. Looking at the chocolate in her hand, she realized she had been reborn to the date her sister framed her 4 years ago. Seeing her sister's smug expression, her adoptive father scolded her for hurting her sister's hand before. He asked what kind of sister would act like that. Listening to their scolding, she thought bitterly of how she once cherished that thin shred of affection. Now it all seemed like a cruel joke. Filled with anger, she grabbed her sister's collar and shoved her hard to the ground. Her brother shouted, asking if she was crazy. Her father cursed that raising her had been a waste. He tried to hit her, but she dodged. Then she turned and left the house. She walked alone in the cold rain at night. Suddenly she remembered her past life. She had overheard her sister and adoptive mother saying her real father was a rich man, but her adoptive mother never planned to tell her. She only wanted to keep her as a heart donor for her own daughter. When she finally learned the truth, she was caught before meeting her real father. She had also heard the rich man was ruthless and cruel, but with nothing left to lose, she decided to gamble. So when his car drove by, she stepped right in front of it, then ran up claiming she was his daughter. To her shock, the man ignored her. If she missed this chance, she would be sent back to the orphanage. So she picked up a stone and smashed his car window. The man immediately ordered the car to back up. Just then she collapsed from exhaustion. When she opened her eyes again, she was in the man's house. She quietly walked upstairs and overheard him talking. In her heart, she wondered, did he bring her back to accept her or to punish her? Then she heard his men report she really was his child, and the jade pendant she wore was indeed the one he gave her mother years ago. At that moment, a dog ran up and scared her. She timidly walked forward and stared straight at the man. To her surprise, this new father was actually handsome. Seeing him silent, she dropped to her knees, tears streaming as she asked if he wanted to drive her away too. The man turned and left without a word. She wiped her tears and called him a heartless devil. She thought this house was no better, but unexpectedly he ordered his men to cook for her and help her freshen up. Seeing a group of servants waiting on her terrified her. Then she saw the limited edition clothes and fine jewelry he prepared. She was too scared to touch a thing. At dinner, she heard the servants describe all kinds of dishes, but she only asked for a bowl of plain porridge. The man walked over asking why she was still wearing the same clothes. She stammered that this one felt more comfortable. He told her to change into clothes that suited her status. Too afraid to call him father, she quickly changed, then raised a glass of milk to thank him for everything. She promised when she turned 18 she would repay him with her own money. At that moment, he noticed her hands trembling, so he took the porridge and sat down in front of her. He personally fed her the meal. Frightened, she quickly ate. The next day, her two adoptive brothers came to discuss business with the man, and were shocked to see their sister there. They thought she had come on purpose to beg her way back into the family. She cursed them as lunatics, then released the dogs to chase them away. When the man returned and heard his daughter had sick dogs on them, he actually laughed for the first time. Just then her old hand injury flared up. She thought her hand was ruined like in her past life. As she stood, the man suddenly appeared before her, startling her so much she nearly dropped her cup. That night he took her out for treatment. She realized this father wasn't so heartless after all. At that moment, her adoptive father arrived with his two injured sons at the hospital and happened to see her. He shouted for her to stop. She slowly turned but said nothing. Her brother cursed her for shamelessly following them. Her adoptive father put on a kind face, saying she had eaten and dressed well in their home for years. Wasn't that enough for her? She asked him her own birthday, her favorite food and clothes, and how her hand had been hurt. He couldn't answer a single question. Her eldest brother said her injury was what she deserved. They all took turns scolding her, calling her ungrateful and even trying to hit her. She broke down in tears. Just then the man handed her a handkerchief. Her adoptive father immediately bowed and greeted him respectfully, asking why the richest man had come here. Before he could reply, her second brother accused her, saying she only came to the hospital to run into him and cling to his wealth. She couldn't defend herself. Her adoptive father then tried to drag her home. She clung to him, refusing to let go. The man stepped forward and grabbed his wrist. The adoptive father cried out in pain. Then the man revealed the girl was his daughter, shocking them all into silence. At last, the ungrateful family faced their retribution.